Alright guys, just carrying on from where we left off last time, I'm just going to try and whip through a couple of the tools that we looked at and a few that some of you were asking about but others weren't. Just going to be quick about this just so it gives you a quick overlay. If you've got any problems, obviously feel free to drop me an email and I'll make another video for you guys. We're going to start off with some of the ones in Vertex. So we hit 1 or we click it, and a couple of the ones we looked at before were weld and target weld. And essentially, how we'd use this is if we had, for example, if I just quickly cut in an edge here. Right, we don't really need this geometry here because it's not doing anything. So a couple of the ways we can fix that is we can use target weld, which is a bit more accurate. So if I select my vert, hit target weld, well, just pick the one I want, sorry, after I've selected target weld, and then if I rotate around here, when the crosshair changes again, and I click, that joins those two together, so they are now one. If you ever want to check that, you can sort of deselect everything and just click instead of drag clicking, select one, and as you can see that's all moving as one solid piece. Their verts are joined together. If you hit 7 on the keyboard, you will get a vert and a poly count up here on the top left, and that just will go down obviously as you're making these changes. The other one is weld, which you have to be a little more careful for and is a bit more useful if we're welding multiple points together. So what I can do here is I will draw in, I'll just undo what I did, and I'm just going to draw in another line just for the sake of demonstrating this tool. So I'll use target weld again quickly just to get rid of these top ones, so we're just focusing on the ones at the bottom. So target weld, that one there, and that one there. Simple, nice and straightforward. Whereas here we can use weld. Now what you're going to want to do is we want the points to come to this one, so we do have to select our vertex first, and then we hit the settings, and what we get is a weld threshold. And what this does is if we turn this up, it will weld together any points that fall into this radius. So as you can see, they're all quite far away, so doing that did nothing, and you have to really, let's just type something crazy in. It's not doing it. But however, if we then sort of just drag these multiple points close together, we might get there we go. Once they're all together, they're all within the threshold. But as you can see, that's moving the geometry a little bit, so that one's a little more messy. After I've joined them, notice the verts at the top went down. If you ever do use that one and it's out of line, a quick bit of advice is if we hit S or snaps toggle, which is here at the top, right click on it and set it to vertex, we can just click and drag that back in. Make sure you turn snaps off, and that's now back in line. Okay, show a couple more tools now just to keep as I said, the length of this video down. So say we accidentally delete face and we want to bring it back in. We've got a few ways to do this. First one is if we hit 3, we come over to border mode, and border, as we discussed last time, it won't work unless there is an open face for it, and that just maps out where the face is missing, and we simply hit down here and edit borders, because as we've seen before, this all changes depending on which tool we're using. So we're in border, we hit cap, and that fills it back in for us. Sometimes that's not available though, where say like these side faces might be missing. We want to create this poly, but we don't have a border to use. So what we can use is a tool called bridge. If I click on bridge, it's going to highlight any areas, such as edges, that I can use. And this is kind of like target weld, we just click and click again, and that's going to fill it in for us, nice and straightforward. So those are just a couple of things we looked at the end of the lesson, and a few of you sort of asked either me or Carl about, and we didn't have time to cover for everyone. But those are just some more useful little skills that you're going to start making use of when you start creating your own models.